Good morning, afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike at FilmBoy24. We have an unboxing. We have a brand spanking new roll of film. We're going to unbox it, right? We're going to shoot it. We're going to develop it, hopefully. And then I'm going to show it to you, all wrapped up in this little tiny video. Next. So rather than making this a multi-part video for you, I decided I'm going to just do it over a series of several days. So everything's going to kind of change from scene to scene because I probably am not going to shoot this film today. I don't know, maybe I will. But then I got to reset up and we're going to keep going. So step one, for me anyway, is we're going to unbox a really old roll of 16mm magazine film. This particular roll, well, it's not unboxed. I don't know the edge code because I haven't shot it yet, but it does have a process before date on the little sticker here, or develop before February 1949. Yes, kids, that means that this roll of film was probably manufactured sometime around 1947. So we're looking at a 78-year-old roll of film. It's still factory sealed. That's why I said brand new. You're not going to find it at Walmart or your local camera store. It's a roll that I picked up online. I'm not overly familiar with the Ideal Film Company here, or what is it called? The Ideal Film and Supply Company Incorporated. I'm sure they're long gone. They were out of New York. So I'm not 100% sure what we're going to come up with when we open this roll of film. It does say on the label here, Eastman Kodak film. So we know it's a Kodak stock, repackaged by the Ideal Film Company. Developed free of charge. Still applies today because I am not going to charge myself to develop this. For outdoor, indoor use, either or, my guess is that it's going to be a black and white film. However, it's 78 years old, so it could be Kodachrome. Not positive, but I'm going to say, and I'm going to hope, that it is a native black and white stock, like maybe a Super XX or something like that. We're going to find out because I'm going to pull in close. I'm going to set another camera up real quick. We're going to get in close. I'm going to move this. This is my Cine Kodak Royal. This came out in the early to mid 50s, 1950s, so not far off from the film. We're going to use this to shoot this, and we're going to go for the native frames per second that it was initially meant to be shot at, really, for home video use or home film use. That's 16 frames per second. We'll get into that much later in the video, or at some point in the video, but as for right now, we're going to go in tight and I'm going to unbox this roll of film. All right, guys, so here we have it. I got my little cutter knife. Here's the film. Let me show you the box from a couple of different sides. There's the best before, or develop before. Flip it around here. Ideal Film and Supply Company Incorporated. There's their address. To and from Eastman Kodak film, you see there. Panchromatic, I never even looked at that. So we do have a black and white film. Safety film, 50 feet, 16mm, Weston 50, developed free of charge. Ideal reversible safety film. So there's our box, and let's get cutting. So we're going to cut the seal here. It's never been opened. I'm just curious what the magazine might look like as well. Some of these magazines were reloaded by Kodak. So you got, sometimes they were messy looking magazines. Sometimes they look good. Let's see what we got. Ooh, it's a military style look. Look at this. This magazine is the property of the U.S. government. And there's the little window there, and you can see the 50. When you can see the 50, that means it's not been exposed. We do have a date right there on the film. It was dated probably when it was loaded in October of 1944. Wow, that's my guess. Maybe, I don't know if that's this particular one, because maybe they did that. Maybe it's good for 5 years. Let me move the box out of the way. This was inside. You guys can freeze frame and read this. And there is nothing on the back. So I'll show you the back of the cartridge. It's really nice. Made in USA by the Morse Instrument Company in Hudson, Ohio. Let's take a look. Oddly, it does not have tape. It is got both screws in it, right here and right here, but there's no tape along the edges. There's typically tape on the edges of the film. So let's take a look, and that definitely looks like a black and white emulsion. That's a good thing. So that's our unboxing. Let's bring it back up. Well, there you have it. Very, very cool. And it's got a, I wish you could feel it because it's got a textured kind of a feel to it. Not thick texture, but like chalkboard texture kind of. It's a really neat feel. The good thing is I do believe that we have a black and white film stock. That means there's a much better chance that we're going to get images out of this than if it were like an old Kodachrome. So I think we're going to be in for something very interesting. We're taking a 70-year-old camera and we're shooting 78-year-old film. Stay tuned. It's going to be instantaneous for you. It's going to be over several days for me to get this whole video put together. So I hope you stick with me and don't fast forward because you're going to miss all the good info. But when you see me again, I'm going to have this film. Well, you'll probably see me shooting it. How's that? All right. I got to go for now. Bye. So it's a real windy day today, but it's nice and bright, sunny, and we're here at the at my local park. I've been basically just shooting this at somewhere between f1.9 and f4, which is ISO 5 to 10, depending on kind of what my subject is. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, so that was it. I am going to pop it out. We're going to develop it, and we're going to hope for the best. Let's go do it. Well, as you probably deduced from that little video, I took this roll of film that we unboxed, this camera, which is a Cine Kodak Royal 16mm magazine camera, my wife, my daughter Piper, and myself to a local park here in my area, and we just filmed. It was a really nice day. It was windy, so you probably heard a little wind noise. I apologize for that in the video, but we did the best we could. A couple of things before I show you the film. There's a couple of things to keep in mind. There's some user error. I don't shoot this camera very often. This is, again, the Cine Kodak Royal. It has a non-reflex finder here, which simply means it's a parallax finder. So you just look through here and your field of view is out this top window right here, the viewfinder window, and your taking lens is down here. So it gets you close. The biggest problem is your focus, because these are focusable, these are not fixed focus lens. This is a 25mm lens. So you just focus based on the markings on the lens. So I believe I might be 10 feet away, so I set this at around 10 feet. Now that's going to work most of the time if you're accurate in your measurements. Well, I wasn't overly accurate, coupled with the fact that I really had no idea at what speed to shoot this film, because I had no idea what kind of film it is and or was at the time. I know now. So the bigger your aperture opening, or the higher the f-stop, or lower, however you want to look at it, f2.8, your aperture is open pretty wide. 1.9, even wider. f16, 11, 32, f-stops like those, you're now closing down that aperture, and letting a lot less light in. Well, the more stopped down your aperture is, the less critical your focus is. Well, I shot this at about ISO 8, 6, something like that. So with that, I had to keep the lens kind of opened up. So like you saw in the little video there, I think it was in the 4 to 5.6 range. When you do that, the focus becomes a lot more critical. So I'm just going to tell you ahead of time, a lot of it is out of focus. Again, my apologies. You'll still get to see what kind of condition the film is in overall. So I think that's what we were going for. Let's just try to figure out whether or not 81-year-old film is still viably usable. Does that make sense? If you can still use it today. That was the purpose of the entire experiment. I processed this film after I found out what kind of film it actually is. It is AGFA panchromatic film. This is the tail here that I snipped off in the dark before I processed. I'll show you close up. So I know it's AGFA film. So I processed it at 68 degrees Fahrenheit in HC 110B for 5 minutes. No remjet on this film, so it was nice. It was nice and easy. Let the film dry, scan the film. Now I'm going to show it to you. Keep the focus issue in mind. There's a couple of scenes where things are pretty in focus, but for the most part, it's out of focus. I'm going to show it to you anyway, right now. Well, there you have it. I'm going to call this a successful unboxing, shooting, processing, viewing. Successful. I had to pull the film out of this, by the way. It is in really rough shape on the inside. Makes sense. That film's been in here for 81 years. 81 years. I shot it with a camera that's about 70 years old. You saw some general deterioration of that film, which was to be expected. To be honest with you, I'm just happy and a little bit surprised that we got anything out of that roll of film. 81-year-old roll of film. Now, if you're interested in knowing or learning exactly how you can reload these 50-foot magazines, 16 millimeter, it takes double per film only. I did a video quite some time ago on exactly how to reload these so that you can shoot them and you reuse them. I'll put a card up there or just do a search on my channel for reloading 16 millimeter magazine and you'll find it. They're not that difficult, a little intimidating to begin with, but in the end, well worth it. I like this little unboxing. It shows that, especially black and white film, it's typically still usable. I have no idea how this roll of film was stored during its lifetime. its lengthy lifetime. It outlived a lot of human beings. So I have no idea how it was stored. If you missed the beginning, it was stamped on the cartridge October 1944. The box says processed before or developed before February of 1949. We went over that earlier. So really, really old film, really old camera, success. I'm happy that I got to show it to you. If you enjoyed this little breakdown, this little unboxing, you can show me right now by hitting that little thumbs up button, the little like button. I would really appreciate it. It means a lot to me, helps my channel, it really does. We have a brand new Facebook community, Filmboy24 community. If you're interested, jump on Facebook. Let's keep this party going. It's where we can, everybody that's interested in this channel and in what we do, the analog community, we get in there and we just keep the conversation going. It's a lot of fun. It's growing. It started with 1 or 2 members, myself and Angus. And now, I don't know, we're in the mid-20s now. So I want to keep that community going. So Filmboy24 community on Facebook. Also check out my Instagram at Filmboy24. And if you want to be a super, super supporter of this channel, please consider becoming a member. I'll be leaving in a couple of days for a little mini vacation. And I do plan on doing a little members only live stream during that vacation, just with my phone, just for fun, to keep up with my members. I greatly appreciate all of you, whether you're a member or not. I'm just super happy you're here. If you think I've earned it, after all that babbling, maybe you could consider subscribing or subscribing, hit the bell. You won't miss a single episode. And I know you don't really want to miss an episode. I'm done rambling. Until the very, very next time I see all of your beautiful faces. All of them. There it is. That was a lengthy one. I'll see all of you on the very next go around.